So, CinemaCon 2026 was supposed to be the big one, right? The entire internet was basically refreshing their feeds nonstop, just waiting for Marvel to finally drop the first trailer for Avengers Doomsday. But the hours went by, and crickets. Nothing. The public was left completely in the dark. But here's the insane part. Behind those closed doors, Disney and Marvel showed a very, very lucky audience everything. A complete 2-minute trailer that, by all accounts, is an absolute game changer. Now, we can't show you the actual footage, but we have incredibly detailed descriptions of every single second that have leaked. And today, we're gonna go shot by shot and break down every single thing they revealed in that secret trailer, from the horrifying debut of the MCU's next big bad, all the way to a final reveal that will completely change what you thought you knew about the future of the Avengers.
All right, let's get right into it. This isn't just a simple trailer breakdown, okay? This is a deep dive into what looks like a massive shift for the entire MCU. First, we're gonna set the scene, unravel that whole mystery of why Marvel kept this amazing footage under lock and key at CinemaCon. Then we're gonna unpack two gigantic announcements the Russo brothers dropped before they even showed the trailer, including a brand new role for a movie we all thought was over, Avengers Endgame. After that, it's all about the footage. Doctor Doom's terrifying first appearance, the absolute chaos of heroes fighting heroes, a display of power that redefines what a villain can be. And then, we're gonna break down that legendary, unbelievable final shot that had the whole room losing their minds.
You've got to picture the scene at CinemaCon. The energy in that room was just electric. For days, the internet was going crazy with rumors that the first teaser for Avengers Doomsday was coming, and that hope just went through the roof when Disney officially released the trailer for The Mandalorian and Grogu for everyone to see online. Social media just exploded. We were all thinking, okay, this is it. Doomsday is next. The Russo brothers, the guys who gave us Infinity War and Endgame, they walk out on stage. The anticipation was so thick you could cut it with a knife, and then nothing. They showed the public absolutely nothing. The live stream just ended, the tweets stopped, and this wave of disappointment just washed over the entire internet. But here's the most important part of the story. While we were all sitting there just refreshing our feeds, the people inside that auditorium were watching something truly mind-blowing. And thanks to incredibly detailed descriptions from a bunch of people who were actually in the room, we have a clear shot-for-shot breakdown of what they saw. We're going to go through that entire 2-minute trailer. But before we even get to the footage itself, we've got to talk about what the Russo brothers announced first, because honestly, it's almost as big a deal as the trailer.
So, before the Russos hit play on the Doomsday footage, they dropped two other absolute bombshells on everyone. You see, they weren't just there to tease the future, they were there to literally reframe the MCU's past. And it all started with the movie we thought we knew inside and out, Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, you heard that right. Avengers Endgame is officially coming back to theaters in September 2026. But the Russos made it very, very clear, this is not the movie you remember from 2019. They're calling it an extended, definitive edition. This new version will finally have those long-lost deleted scenes that fans have been begging to see, like that emotional scene where a dying Tony Stark meets an adult Morgan in the Soul Stone. But it gets even crazier. They teased surprises, completely new footage that's being added to connect the events of Endgame right to the beginning of Doomsday. Now, the biggest theory flying around, and it makes a ton of sense, is that Endgame will finally get something it never had, a post-credit scene, probably one that acts as a direct setup for Doctor Doom's arrival.
The second huge announcement was the reveal of a new theatrical format called Infinity Vision. So, what is it? Well, it's actually a pretty genius business move from Marvel. You see, Avengers Doomsday is scheduled to come out on the exact same day as Dune Part 3. And since the Dune movies have this exclusive locked-in deal with IMAX, it meant the new Avengers movie was completely shut out of all IMAX screens. Infinity Vision is Marvel's answer to that problem. It's their own custom-built premium format made to give us a huge, immersive experience without needing IMAX at all. And how are they going to introduce it? Well, that Endgame re-release will be the world's very first chance to see what this new Infinity Vision format can do.
Okay, so with those massive announcements out of the way, it was finally time for the main event. The lights went down. The Russo brothers set the stage not just for a trailer, but for a whole new era of villainy. They described their Doctor Doom as a threat that is way greater and more complex than Thanos ever was. They said he's smarter, he's a better strategist, he's always 3 steps ahead of our heroes, and this is a direct quote, he is virtually unbeatable. And with that absolutely chilling intro, they just let the footage do the talking.
The trailer opens with a single, devastating shot that immediately sends a chill down your spine. It's the sign for Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters, but it's shattered, lying in a pile of rubble. The home of the X-Men is just gone. As the camera slowly moves in on the wreckage, this calm, chilling voiceover starts. It's Dr. Doom. He says something is coming, and they will not be able to stop it. By the end of the day, they will be faced with an unthinkable decision. Now, what's really important here is the voice itself. Every report agrees it has this distinct Eastern European, almost Latvian accent. It is definitely not an American accent, which right away just completely kills that popular fan theory that this Doom was going to be some kind of Tony Stark variant. Nope, this is someone totally new and totally terrifying.
And then we finally see him. Dr. Doom is kneeling on the ground in a classic superhero landing pose, just surrounded by destruction. He then stands up, not quickly but slowly, with this incredible sense of power. And the description of his suit, it sounds like it's been ripped straight from the comics. It's supposedly incredibly faithful. The classic regal green hooded cape flowing behind him, covering this metallic, almost chrome-like body armor that's gleaming in the light. And the most important part, his iconic, terrifying mask is always on. A few reports said they thought they could maybe see hints of a scarred face through the eye slits, but the one thing everyone agreed on is that for the entire 2 minutes, he never, ever takes that mask off.
After Doom's chilling intro, the trailer's pace just explodes. We cut to this frantic montage of our heroes just scrambling to figure out what's going on. We get a quick shot inside the new Avengers Tower, and you can clearly see members of the Fantastic Four, probably Reed Richards and Sue Storm, in a war room meeting with other heroes, including Sam Wilson as Captain America. And the looks on their faces just say it all. They've never ever dealt with anything on this scale before. And the trailer shows us just how massive this scale is, with 2 quick but unforgettable shots. First, we see Namor, the Submariner, using his power to part the entire ocean. It's described as being almost biblical, like something out of a Cecil B. DeMille movie. And this is followed immediately by a shot of a horrified Susan Storm, the Invisible Woman, just screaming in terror as this gigantic tidal wave is about to crash down on her. For longtime comic fans, this is a huge moment. That image is supposedly a direct, shot-for-shot recreation of a famous panel from the comics, which is just an incredible detail. Over all these scenes of chaos, we hear this powerful but very weary voiceover from Thor. He says he's fought countless enemies, gods, monsters, titans. He admits that some of them were stronger than all his friends put together, but in the end, they were all beaten. This threat, he says, and you can just hear the dread in his voice as he talks about Doom, is more powerful than all of them. He's basically begging the other heroes, telling them that if they don't finally unite and put all their petty fights aside, then everything they've ever sacrificed will have been for nothing. He ends his speech with this one desperate, chilling line: "Mark my words, we are going to need a miracle." As Thor's desperate plea is ringing out, the trailer just unleashes this rapid-fire montage of action that is pure fan service heaven. We get a glimpse of Gambit fighting Shang-Chi. I mean, who even thought of that matchup? It's explosive energy versus martial arts mastery. We see Mystique in this brutal close-quarters fight with Yelena Belova, and in a brilliant tactical move, Mystique actually transforms into Yelena mid-fight to mess with her. We get this powerful shot of an alliance forming with Wakanda's M'Baku and the Fantastic Four's The Thing shaking hands, and then it's just flashes. Cyclops unleashing a massive optic blast that fills the whole screen, and Sam Wilson flying into action as Captain America. It's just a complete sensory overload of insane new character mashups. So this chaotic montage just keeps building and building, and it all leads to the trailer's first major climax. The action cuts hard to a scene of just total devastation, fire and rubble everywhere. And standing right in the middle of it all, we finally get the confrontation the entire trailer has been teasing. The God of Thunder, Thor, versus the Monarch of Latveria, Dr. Doom. Okay, we need to walk through this moment step by step, because this one single interaction might be the most important part of the entire trailer. First, we see Thor go into his most powerful state. He summons all of his lightning, his eyes are glowing pure white, and he gathers every last ounce of his cosmic power. Then, he lunges forward, unleashing all of this incredible, world-breaking force directly at Dr. Doom. And Dr. Doom, he just raises one hand, and he stops him, cold. There's no effort, no struggle, no grunt. He just stops Thor's most powerful attack with a single hand like it was absolutely nothing. Let's be perfectly clear about what this moment means, because it changes everything. Just think back to Endgame. Thor, at his absolute peak with both Mjolnir and Stormbreaker, gave Thanos a serious fight. Thanos had to struggle. He had to physically work to overpower Thor. What we just saw was Dr. Doom neutralizing a fully powered-up Thor with one hand, like he was swatting a fly. This single moment is designed to tell the audience one thing: Doom is on a completely different level of power. He isn't just the next Thanos. He is an overwhelming, strategic, and physical force so far beyond him it's honestly terrifying. And now we get to the final, absolutely stunning moments of the trailer. The scene cuts back to that same fight, but now it's pretty clear this isn't a fight at all. It's a beatdown. Dr. Doom is just systematically dismantling Thor, and the footage makes it painfully obvious that the God of Thunder is about to lose, and lose badly. As Thor falls to his knees, all hope just seems completely, utterly gone.
And I want to just pause on this for a second, because the trailer lets this moment of despair just sink in. It forces you to watch as one of the original, strongest Avengers is being effortlessly, almost casually, defeated. The situation looks completely hopeless. I mean, if Thor can't stop him, who possibly can? What kind of miracle could save them now?
And then, cutting through all the noise of destruction and Thor's pained grunts, this calm, unmistakable, and very familiar voice is heard from off-screen. All it says is two simple words: "Hey, pal."
For just a split second, all the action on screen reportedly just freezes. The audience in the room is left hanging, hearts pounding, just wondering who in the world could be showing up in this most desperate moment.
And then comes the trailer's final, mind-blowing twist. The camera whips around and we see him. It's Steve Rogers. But it's not the old man we saw on the bench at the end of Endgame. He's in rugged civilian clothes, he has a beard and longer hair, looking almost exactly like his nomad look from Infinity War. He is back, in his prime. He looks at a beaten Thor, then he locks eyes with Dr. Doom, and then he just calmly raises his hand. Mjolnir, the mighty hammer, flies out of Thor's defeated grasp and slams perfectly into Steve's hand. He is still worthy. And on that perfect, chill-inducing, unbelievable shot, the trailer cuts to black.
So let's just take a quick breath and recap the absolutely massive reveals we just got from a 2-minute trailer. First, Dr. Doom is not just another bad guy. He's being set up as a nearly unbeatable strategic and physical threat who is far beyond Thanos in every single way. Second, Avengers Endgame, a movie we all thought was finished, is being actively changed and re-released to be a direct prequel to this movie. Third, the scale of this conflict is just huge, promising world-shattering destruction and a ton of new hero matchups we've only ever dreamed of seeing. And finally, the impossible happened. The original Captain America, Steve Rogers, is back, he's in his prime, and he is still worthy.
And all of this leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? The return of Steve Rogers is this huge moment of hope right when things seemed completely hopeless. But after watching Dr. Doom stop the God of Thunder with just one hand, we have to seriously ask, is even Captain America enough? Is his return the miracle Thor was talking about, the one thing that can actually turn the tide? Or is he just the next legend to fall against a threat that is truly, as the Russos themselves warned us, unbeatable? That is the question we are all going to be debating until this movie finally hits theaters.